Egypt. The waves were rough in the Egyptian harbor as Questor and Top Secret landed unobserved, noting the site of the once great Library of Alexandria that had met several burnings and other disasters, setting the world back at least 1,000 years. The first known library of its kind to gather a serious collection of books from beyond its country's borders, the library at Alexandria was charged with collecting all the world's knowledge. It did so through an aggressive and well-funded royal mandate involving trips to the book fairs of Rhodes and Athens, and a potentially apocryphal or exaggerated policy of pulling the books off every ship that came into port, keeping the originals and returning copies to their owners. This detail is informed by the fact that Alexandria, because of its man-made bidirectional port between the mainland and the Pharos Island, welcomed trade from the east and west, and soon found itself the international hub for trade, as well as the leading producer of papyrus and, soon enough, books. Section 4, an NIA group of international-looking assassins, had been quickly dispatched to Alexandria. Rascal followed, for Frederick had uncovered a plot to render the Suez Canal inoperative, plus some other actions unknown. As good luck would have it for them, the conspirators were now meeting in a hotel to finalize their plans. Frederick placed a call to his foes there, saying that he had just returned from the dead, describing them all and the activities that had led up to his demise, and that he was outside now and standing across the street for their verification. The word spread quickly, and so they pulled open the drapes, startled to see that it was indeed Frederick come back to life. Whilst they stood astonished, murmuring that he had had no pulse, Frederick quickly moved behind Pompey's pillar, the only ancient structure that had remained standing in Alexandria. Word of the conspirators' meeting room number was quickly sent to the other half of Section 4 that was already in the hotel. Some terrorists even stepped out onto the balcony. The conspirators' eyes went right to Frederick, now partly behind the pillar and sticking out, and waving his fedora, saying, "From heaven's heart, I step on you." A curse meaning more that it sounded to, for in this part of the world the bottom of a shoe was a bad thing. Ancient history took a slight beating of pockmarks just before the Section 4 assassins opened fire, their other half doing the same from within the hotel, attempting to secure the plans of the plots within. A freak ricochet caught Commander Rascal in the chest as he stood shielded in a doorway, no apparent harm being done by its impact. However, it somehow triggered a cascade leading to heart failure for the grand and aging man, and he soon fell to the ground, his color draining rapidly. Precious moments passed before Frederick could get over there. Questor and Top Secret, having been given positions as backups, provided a burst of cover fire. Finally, there was the silence in the hotel that indicated death or great injury to all the conspirators. And so the agents gathered around Frederick and the great and legendary 7-star Grandmaster. He was fading fast, everyone's eyes growing dim and downcast at his prospects.
Try this.
As he pulled out an ancient-looking vial. The rascal inhaled the air obtained from the pyramid, and a fine color blush soon replaced the pale that he had nearly gone beyond.
It was just a scratch. None of this ever happened.
There was a ship in the harbor waiting, but it was now much too dangerous to use it, the local police all unaccountably having gathered there for the mere overturning of a donut truck. The operatives thus scattered and regrouped on a deserted desert road whilst the police ate their donut desserts at the seashore, and all the terrorist conspirators lay dead as their own just desserts. The black rescue jet had just landed and awaited, a necessary risk. Later, in flight, Frederick revealed another precious find, an ancient book that had survived the Alexandria Library, its title being of the nature of The Quickness of Being and the Dead, where quick was what was anciently used to mean alive. But in another definition, it was a pun of the Arabic language, such as in the quick and the dead.
We did very little, for she planned it all.
Rascal went for a heart checkup, the doctor being amazed at the man's glorious state of health. Questor and Top Secret had settled in French Polynesia, now calling it home, although their work was still with the ninjas when necessary. They lived simple, not needing much. If the planet ever came to a disaster, they were ready, even having their own island now.